Hello friends, and welcome back to So Critical Automaton Plays Dark Souls. Picking up exactly where we left off last week, it's time to go visit the courtyard. So, yeah. We'll have a shortcut back to the, looks like those things have noticed me. These are... I think they're called the Phalanx Demon, but they're not actually a demon. They're sort of weird, messed up undead. They're actually really good for soul farming because they're fairly easy to kill. They know what they're doing with those shields, and they do a lot of damage with the spears, but they have the disadvantage of being very slow to turn, so you can outrun them and do this until they're dead. And of course, the more of them you kill, the easier they are to kill, and they're worth 500 each, and there's like 15 of them or something. But I'm not actually going to fight them all right now, because it's a bit of a pain to do that when you don't have fireballs and such. So, yeah, boom, we're back at the beginning. I actually am going to rest quickly, because I want to be human for this. There's a scripted invasion shortly, and I don't want to miss out on it. I'm a bit disappointed that I haven't been invaded by another player. It'd probably be a fairly interesting thing to see happen, although I will probably lose the fight since I'm not actually that very good. Yeah, but chances are... Actually, no, I think I joined the Way of White, the, if you remember, the, cooperative, thingamajig? What do you call it? Doodad? God, what are they called? I hate it when my memory does this, it's such a pain. The thing where a bunch of... God damn it. Ouch. No, seriously, what am I thinking of? Covenants! That's what they're called, covenants! Haha, there we go. Fantastic. So... Oh wow, that's the sneakiest one. I call him Sneaky Dave, because he's sneaky. No, they're all identical. Fireball. As is fairly obvious, they are not natural creatures, and they do shimmer out. So, yeah, the Covenant I joined, the Way of White, makes it harder for people to invade you, and easier for you to team up with other players. For all that, I haven't seen very many white summon signs, but also we have not been invaded once, so, you know, swings and roundabouts, really. I should stop saying that so much. It's probably not as endearing as I think it is. Yeah, so, a ton of these guys. I'll be done with them soon enough, and then we can go meet Xanthus King Jeremiah. So, there's not really much to say about these guys. They're a fairly entertaining foe to fight, but there's nothing, you know, interesting about them lore-wise. Beyond that, they're creepy amoeba guys. Apparently they're a reference to, or there were Phalanx demons which were similar in the spiritual predecessor to this game, which was Demon Souls, I think. This is Dark Souls, yeah, so it would be Demon Souls. But yeah, not much of a problem, especially once you get them separated out. To be honest, if they... Like, they're supposed to be a phalanx, but they don't stay together. As soon as they see you, they split up. That's the opposite of what a phalanx is supposed to do, right? You know, forgive me if I'm messing up my Bronze Age war tactics. Also, it's kind of gross that they kind of just pull the spears out of their backs. Right, well that's a bunch of slug people down, and that's, yeah, that is about, what, 12,000 souls? Were there only 12 of them? Seems like there was more, but apparently not. Yeah. We need to go open the door at the back of where we came from, the big amphitheater, there we go. But there's a bunch of items to hoover up and a couple of other areas to go first. There's Anyway, so this place, the painted world of Ariamis, is referred to as a refuge for those that could find no place in the world. And it doesn't explain why there's so many hollows here, but there's a bunch of theorizing people have done about this being the place where essentially, I would say the gods, but really Gwyn's subset of the gods, you know. I think of them, I think of Gwyn's family as being, you know, a subset within the deities of Anor Londo. Ouch. Oh, fuck! Oh dear, oh dear. And we're back. So... whoa! Better not die. Fuck! I'd better not die again immediately, that would be really awful. So the Phalanx demons are worth about 7,500 souls, roughly, altogether, so not as much as I thought, but still a good spot for farming, because you can kill them quite quickly, particularly if you have some of the higher level pyromancies that I do not have access to yet. I hate these guys so much. I did remember to re-human up, and I also remembered to switch my rings, because I've been wearing the iron ring since, well, since Sun's Fortress, and that's no longer especially useful. So these stone blocks are pretty clearly, you know, they have iron bars on the front. It's pretty clear that they were prisons of some sort. So, you know, who or what was imprisoned within. Now this guy is a very powerful pyromancer called Xanthus King, or King Jeremiah rather, or Xanthus King Jeremiah. Easiest way to fight him, because he's only got a whip, is to just let him waste all his fire, which, you know, you can do fairly easily by dodging behind these things. That weird eggy spoon thing on his head, that is a giant turban. So, the thing about the painted world is that it's kind of, oh, I probably should have switched my weapons. Fire does not do very much damage to him. It's kind of, yep. Real smooth. Wow, okay, that was a lot of damage, fuck! Oh dear. Luckily I was wearing protection, haha. So, I should probably spend some of these souls. And, oh look, a summon sign. I could bring someone in to help out. So, yeah, I could do with more hit points. I'll probably pop a soul or two just to get up to about 15,000 so that I don't have to worry about wasting more souls. 14, 15, fantastic. Just enough for another one. Excellent. I might put a couple of points into faith so that I can use a weapon we're going to get shortly. So, I don't actually have to fight the Phalanx Demons again if I want to fight Xanthus King Jeremiah again. I should probably equip fire resistance, shouldn't I? That would be the smart thing to do. So, I'm going to go fight him next. Let's switch over to... do I not have my spear? Why don't I have my spear? Oh, there it is. Ha! Fantastic. And do I actually have any decent fire resistance gear? Tattered cloth robe, I guess, counts. It's a bit heavier though. Let's... screw it, I'll just be better at dodging. Probably famous last words. Oh, and a ring. How much does that actually boost? Oh wow, nearly in fact, 100 plus 110, that's probably worth having. I feel like I should go with another, ring of not dying, but I don't really want to waste them, I don't have many. Also, there's the advantage of being able to attack with my shield up. Very useful against these guys. So, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so theories are that, broadly, that the Painted World of Ariamis is, in fact, a prison. Acid Surge, interesting. Is, in fact, a prison for anything that was a bit, you know, a bit not acceptable. Unnatural, strange, monstrous things that Gwyn and his kin did not want running around. So, considering that there's a lot of hollows here, and that some of them are pyromancers, and some of them aren't pyromancers but still are associated with flames, it's kind of possible that, whoa, kidoki. Yeah, that's kind of a terrifyingly powerful thing. We'll deal with that later. Oh, fuck. That was close. Yeah, he uses Chaos Pyromancy. One of the hallmarks of Chaos Pyromancy is that it leaves globs of lava behind. That's... Yep, just waste it on that nice concrete cell. Yeah, one of the hallmarks of it is that it does leave... Oh yeah, that's much more damage. That's good. Leave lava behind it. So it's clear that this guy is a Chaos Pyromancer. He's got a big weird head on him. That probably means that he's been corrupted in some way, as I've been talking about, you know, Chaos Pyromancy being a corrupting force. He'll run out eventually. So yeah, that's... So Chaos Pyromancy comes from, essentially, the same source as the demons, the attempt by the Witch of Izalith to create a new first flame. Very hubristic, but, you know. Is it technically hubris if you're a god? Oh, sucks to be you. So, yeah, he drops, I think he drops his whip, which is pretty neat. It's a whip that does a ton of bleed damage, always useful. Yeah, so... If you think about it, it's sort of a living hell, really. All of these people up on spikes. This is, yeah, like I said, probably where Gwyn's lot sent anybody they didn't like. Next place we gotta go is, over here. And there's two ways into this zone. We can go up here, and then, oh no, that's right, there's this thing up here that I forgot about. And more hollows, of course. More stealthy dangle hollows. I will never get tired of saying stealth dangle hollows. It's just fun. So yeah, if this is the place where the gods of Anor Londo send all their, send anything they don't like, then what are the possible servants of Velka doing here? Well, there's kind of a running implication that, unlike the other gods of Anor Londo, this is how you get to that rope, to drop that guy down if you don't have a ranged weapon. Unlike the other gods of Anor Londo, Velka actually gave a shit about mortals. Velka was the goddess of sin, and her sphere of influence was sin and justice. That's what she cares about. So... it sounds like something's throwing fireballs. Anyway. So... she kind of didn't buy into the whole... I guess the party line of Anor Londo, with noble and beneficent deity Gwyn up at the top, and she kind of always went around doing her own thing, most of which was what was just, and Gwyn's actions not always just, so she kind of had a semi-oppositional role to the deities of Anor Londo, because yeah, there's like 8 skeleton wheels in here. They are a huge hassle to deal with. In fact, sometimes I actually just bump my gamma way up so that I can see them and snipe them. I'm going to try and lure them out one by one. Wow. Let's go in here. Dex. And we're back, pretty much. And we're all pruny again. The moisturising effects of humanity are astonishingly impressive, really. I've taken out 2 of them. Anyway, so what was I saying? Velka as an oppositional figure. So, most of the other priesthoods of gods of Anor Londo kind of follow what we would see as like traditional European priesthoods. You know, there's the Way of White with you know, healing. Well, there's the followers of the Princess of the Sun. There's a healing cult. The followers of Old Man Macloif. Actually, no, Old Man Macloif was a minor healing deity. Who am I thinking of? Allfather Lloyd. The followers of Allfather Lloyd were the genesis of the Way of White, which is a sort of a general be good to one another type religion. So all of these people have, you know, their priestesses and warriors and so on, all of these different cults, but Velka, the priests and priestesses of Velka are different. They are the pardoners. Their purpose is to ease things over with the gods and sort problems out for mortals. You know, not necessarily lift curses, but, you know, persuade deities to stop being such dicks to mortals. And for a bunch of capricious deities, it's pretty clear why that would lead to an oppositional role. That's why here in the Painted World of Ariamis we will find the equipment of one of the pardoners, and we will also find I think that's the last one. We will also find the crow demons that are possibly related to Velka in some way. Soul of Brave Warrior. This is a fairly obvious fake wall. This leads to the other entrance, which is down the well. But first, I'm going to turn this handle. What's going on here? Mysterious statue turns around. So that statue is a very caring figure. It's a motherly figure defending, or well, comforting a child. You know, this is kind of I don't know, I don't actually have anything to say about that. Although I feel like I ought to. There's a couple more skeleton wheels in here, but also there's an item that we need, which is... yeah, there's a skeleton wheel down there. Let's see what this says. Wary of left. I guess that means there is a skeleton around this corner. Yep. You can just see the edge of its wheel. Let's see if I can... actually no, I'll just lure it into running into the corner. And then... wow, okay. It's a good thing I've got so much endurance, otherwise they will eventually knock your shield aside, and that's pretty much a death sentence. So... God, I think there's another one here somewhere. I think this is the item I'm looking for. The annex key, fantastic. There might be another item down here, but, you know, frankly I don't care enough to get myself killed finding out. So... I don't really need to be human for the rest of this this place, so I'm just going to scurry along. And, yeah, so... what else do we know? We know that pyromancy comes from the Witch of Izalith, and that so does Chaos Pyromancy, and that Chaos Pyromancy comes from the same source as the demons. So the thing about that is, the demons are oppositional to the gods as well. The Silver Knights of Gwyn are said to have fought the demons, so yeah. It makes sense that something else associated with the same source, Chaos Pyromancy, would be anathema, and Gwyn and co would try and stamp it out. So, quite possibly, the greatest and most powerful Chaos Pyromancers were sent here to languish forever. Wow. Kind of looked into that. Yeah, Pyromancers suck. No, they don't. Pyromancers are cool. And I don't say that just because I am one. You know? Yeah, there we go. I should really switch back to my flaming thingamajig. So, these must have been, you know, the great and powerful of the Chaos Pyromancy lot. And if that's the case, then who, or what, was the single most powerful pyromancer here? Xanthus King Jeremiah. Xanthus apparently means yellow, so... oh yeah, this is a secret you might not notice. So the Yellow King, that is, as I am sure you are aware, a reference to the Lovecraftian story, although I don't believe it was... did you hear that? Pretty sure I heard that. A reference to the Lovecraftian story of the King in Yellow. So, yeah, I hate these guys so much. So, a lot of people think that means that that pyromancer, the King Jeremiah, might have been Salaman, who we have heard mentioned as being essentially the granddaddy of pyromancy, and who essentially the world's most powerful pyromancer, the last of the daughters of Izalith, who we met actually, took as her first pupil, and who yeah, etc, etc, etc. You get where I'm going with this. So there's not very much there's not very much evidence for Salaman actually being... sorry, Xanthus King Jeremiah actually being Salaman. Oh, why couldn't you fall off? You suck and I hate you. Be obliging. Wow, that was close. Oh, that was close as well. Fucking hell. I hate crow demons. That was very close. Dead. Okay. Oh, wow. Who's... Oh, the other one's shooting fireballs at me, because of course. The other pyromancer, not the other crow demon. Crow demons cannot shoot fireballs. That was very close as well. Oh, hurry up and die. I hate these things. Hurry up and jump off an edge already. Yeah, so... There's not very much evidence for Jeremiah being Salaman, other than that he's a very powerful pyromancer. But it's not impossible that, you know, Salaman being the first real human pyromancer, fell to corruption through the power of chaos pyromancy, and ended up being sucked into the painted world by anyone who was not keen on humans having such power. Or indeed... Well, you get what I mean. Yeah, this is how we get to this thingamajig, which is more Velka stuff. So, yeah, interestingly, the Velka's rapier, which we found okie-dokie. So Velka's rapier does occult damage, which is referred to as doing bonus damage against, as having been used to hunt gods. So, and of course it does bonus damage to divine creatures. Oh fuck! Divine creatures such as the Silver Knight. Bye. Ooh, I was worried I was going to fall down there for a minute. So yeah. Did I grab the item? I did. Fantastic. Don't remember what it was. What was I talking about? God, I'm so distractible. Yeah, so... Stuff, things... Ah, hell. I think there's a few more, I think there's a couple more crow demons that fly down in a sec. Let's deal with this guy first, anyway. So, occult damage does bonus damage to, divine beings. The Silver Knights, the Black Knights... and a couple of bosses that we won't get to until later. Oh look, it's another Andre. And it's the Dark Ember, which is used to imbue weapons with occult. It's pretty obvious why anyone who discovered how to make occult weapons would be condemned to this prison. So, if it started out as a prison, the implication of the description of the peculiar doll is that it then became something of a refuge, perhaps as the power of the deities of Anor Londo waned. And we're going to go meet the mysterious young lady who... I say she's a young lady, she's sort of an ancient being. I'm pretty sure these guys can't come up. Oh, fuck! Pretty sure they can't come up here. Jesus. I say Jesus a lot. I've been meaning to try and start saying, like, I don't know, Gwyn or whatever. But I never really remember. It's just how it is. So this door's open now, because the statue spun around. And, yeah, I think this is where we will end today's episode. Nearly at the end of the painted world. Did you have fun? I sure hope you did. See you later, guys. Bye.